You're adrift in a sea of digital noise, your attention fractured, your ambitions collecting dust. You feel the dull ache of unfulfilled potential, the gnawing frustration of days slipping by, consumed by trivialities while your grand plans remain ghostly outlines. You crave a focus so intense it burns through distractions like a plasma torch, a productivity so profound it feels almost dangerous. This isn't about politely asking for more time or gently nudging your habits. This is about forging a weapon. This is Unleash Savage Focus, the 7-day dangerous power method for productivity. Over the next 7 days, you're not just going to learn to concentrate. You're going to undergo a systematic dismantling of your old, ineffective self and the construction of a new operational framework. A framework that enables a level of pinpoint concentration and ruthless execution that will make your previous efforts look like child's play. This dangerous power isn't about wielding influence over others in some nefarious way. It's the astonishing, almost terrifying power you'll unleash within yourself. The power to achieve, to create, to dominate your own objectives with an unwavering, primal intensity. Prepare for a transformation. Prepare to become formidable. Day 1. The Purge, eliminating the noise. The first day of your transformation is about radical subtraction. We call it the purge because it's not a gentle decluttering. It's a ruthless, systematic extermination of every parasitic drain on your attention. Modern life is a relentless assault of engineered distraction, a cacophony designed to keep you clicking, scrolling, and consuming, never creating, never achieving deep work. Savage focus cannot coexist with this chaos. You must create a sterile environment for your mind, a silent battlefield where your true cognitive power can be brought to bear. Think of a master sculptor about to begin his magnum opus. Does he work in a room filled with chattering fools, blaring televisions, and a floor littered with garbage? No. He demands silence, order, and only the essential tools. Your mind is that workshop, and your life's work is the masterpiece waiting to be sculpted. The brutality of the purge lies in its non-negotiable nature. You must be merciless. First, confront the external noise. This is the low-hanging fruit of distraction, yet most are too weak or too addicted to sever these ties. We're talking about the endless stream of notifications from your phone, your computer, your so-called smart devices. Each ping, each buzz is a tiny hammer tap against the foundations of your concentration. Today, you implement the notification nullification. This isn't about do not disturb for an hour. This is about going into your settings app by app and systematically disabling every non-essential notification. Social media, news alerts, email pop-ups, game reminders, silence them all. The only things that might survive this cull are direct calls or messages from a tiny, predefined list of truly critical contacts. Be honest. 99% of what dings at you can wait. It must wait. Next is the commitment call. Look at your schedule, your to-do lists, your social obligations. How many of these are genuinely aligned with your deepest priorities, with the kind of focused work you're now committed to? How many are relics of past intentions, favors you begrudgingly agreed to, or time sinks that offer zero return on your most precious asset, your attention? Today, you make hard choices. You will say no. You will renegotiate. You will cancel. This will feel uncomfortable. Good. Savage focus isn't built on comfort. It's built on disciplined action in pursuit of what truly matters. If an activity doesn't directly contribute to your core objectives or vital well-being, it's a candidate for the guillotine. Then there's the physical environment, your workspace. Is it a cluttered mess, a monument to indecision and procrastination? Or is it a Spartan, optimized launchpad for deep work? Clear your desk of everything not immediately essential for the task at hand. Organize your digital files. Create an environment that signals to your subconscious, this is a place of serious work. Finally, and most challenging, is the internal noise. The mental clutter, the anxieties, the half-formed ideas, the nagging worries, the endless internal monologue that distracts and drains. For this, you will perform the brain dump barrage. Take a stack of paper or open a blank document and for a set period, say, 30 uninterrupted minutes, vomit every single thought onto the page. Don't censor, don't organize, just get it out. Every worry, every task, every idea, every resentment. Once it's all out, you can begin to triage it. Mark items as trash, irrelevant worries, fleeting thoughts. Defer, important, but not for now. Schedule a time to address it after this 7-day intensive. Or act soon, genuinely urgent, but can likely be batched and dealt with efficiently outside your focus blocks. The act of externalizing this mental debris frees up enormous cognitive bandwidth. Ignoring the purge means you're attempting to build a skyscraper on quicksand. Your efforts will be swallowed by the constant influx of distractions. You'll remain a puppet, your strings pulled by algorithms and the demands of others. The positive outcome: a profound sense of calm and control, a mental landscape cleared of underbrush, ready for the seeds of intense focus to be sown. This isn't just about tidiness, it's about reclaiming sovereignty over your attention. This initial silence, this stark clarity, is the bedrock upon which your dangerous power will be built. Embrace the discomfort of the call. The peace it buys is invaluable. Day 2. The vow: forging unbreakable intent. Yesterday you carved out silence. You cleared the stage. Today you define the drama. Focus, no matter how intense, is useless if it's not directed. A laser beam diffused is just a weak glow. Concentrated, it cuts through steel. Day 2 is about forging the vow, an unbreakable, singular commitment that will be the focal point of your newfound savage focus for the duration of this 7-day method, and potentially far beyond. This isn't about setting a dozen vague New Year's resolutions or a long list of fuzzy goals. The vow is singular. It's monumental. It's the one objective that, if achieved, would create a seismic shift in your productivity, your career, your personal development, whatever domain you're targeting. The power of the vow comes from its exclusivity. For these 7 days, and especially within your dedicated focus blocks, this one thing becomes your obsession, your pole star. Why the vow? Because it implies a depth of commitment far beyond a mere goal. A goal is something you'd like to achieve. A vow is a sacred promise to yourself, a declaration of intent so profound that to break it would be a betrayal of your own potential. This is where the dangerous aspect begins to surface. Committing this deeply to one thing means other, lesser things will be sacrificed. It means you will be operating with an intensity that might seem extreme to the unfocused masses. This intensity is not for them to understand. It's for you to wield. How do you choose this one thing that merits such a profound commitment? Ask yourself the crucible question. If I could only achieve one specific, measurable thing in the next 7 days, the accomplishment of which would create the most significant positive impact and momentum in my life, what would it be? Don't think small. Don't think easy. Think transformative. It could be completing a critical project proposal, writing a substantial portion of a book, mastering a complex new skill, developing a detailed business plan, or solving a persistent, debilitating problem. The key is that it must be significant to you and achievable, or at least substantially advanced, within a focused week. Once you've identified it, you don't just jot it down. You formalize it. This is the declaration of unbreakable intent. Write it down on a piece of paper. Be specific. I, your name, vow to dedicate my savage focus for the next 7 days to the full and uncompromising completion achievement of your specific measurable vow. Sign it. Date it. Place it where you will see it every single day, especially before your focus sessions. This act of writing and signing creates a psychological contract with yourself that is surprisingly powerful. Then visualize. Spend time vividly imagining two scenarios. First, the profound satisfaction, the surge of power, the tangible results of fulfilling this vow. Feel it, see it, internalize it. Second, and equally important, confront the emptiness, the stagnation, the self-reproach of failing to uphold this vow due to a relapse into distraction or weak will. Let the stark contrast fuel your determination. Ignoring the vow or choosing a weak, uninspiring one means your purged mental space will soon be overgrown with the weeds of trivial pursuits. Your focus, however potentially sharp, will have no meaningful target. You'll be a powerful engine revving in neutral. The consequence is wasted energy, diluted effort, and the familiar sting of falling short of your capabilities. The benefit of forging an unbreakable vow is profound. It provides a magnetic north for all your mental and physical resources. Every decision about how to spend your time and energy during these 7 days can be filtered through a simple question. Does this serve the vow? This clarity, this singular obsession, is the beginning of channeling your focus into a truly dangerous power, dangerous to your limitations, dangerous to your procrastination, dangerous to the obstacles that stand before you. Today, you don't just find direction, you etch it into your very being. Day 3. The ritual, engineering the environment of power. With the purge complete and the vow declared, Day 3 is about systemization. Willpower, as you've likely experienced, is a fickle and finite resource. Relying on it alone to maintain savage focus is a recipe for inconsistency and eventual failure. Instead, you will engineer the ritual, a set of non-negotiable routines and an optimized environment that automate your entry into and maintenance of a deep state of concentration. This is about creating an ecosystem of power where focus isn't just encouraged, it's practically inevitable. Why the ritual? Because rituals bypass the need for constant decision-making and willpower expenditure. They create ingrained pathways in your brain that lead directly to the desired state. A powerful ritual isn't just a habit, it's a sacred sequence, a deliberate construction of conditions that prime you for peak performance. Think of an elite athlete's pre-game routine. Every step is precise, practiced, and designed to bring them to a state of readiness. Your focus sessions deserve no less. First, let's address the time lock protocol. Your vow requires dedicated, uninterrupted time. Identify specific blocks in your day, every day for these 7 days that will be sacrosanct. These are your focus blocks. They are non-negotiable appointments with your most important work. Inform anyone who needs to know that you are unavailable during these times. Turn off your phone or put it in another room. Close your email. The world can wait. This isn't about finding time. It's about making time and defending it ferociously. The length of these blocks can vary, perhaps 2 90-minute blocks or 1 3-hour block, depending on your vow and your capacity, which you'll build. The key is consistency and inviolability. Next is the sanctum setup. Your physical workspace, your focus fortress, needs to be more than just tidy. It needs to be an active catalyst for concentration. This goes beyond the decluttering of day one. Consider minimalism. Only tools directly related to your vow should be visible and accessible. Everything else is a potential distraction. Ergonomics. Is your chair supportive? Is your monitor at the right height? Physical discomfort is a silent focus killer. Sensory input. Some thrive in silence, others with specific types of instrumental music or white noise. Experiment and find what locks you in. Consider lighting. Natural light is often best, but consistent, good quality artificial light is crucial. Psychological triggers. Perhaps a specific scent, like a subtle essential oil, a particular drink, water, specific tea, or a symbolic object on your desk that reminds you of your vow and your commitment to savage focus. Then you design your launch sequence. This is a short, 5–10 minute pre-focus block ritual designed to transition you from the scattered energy of daily life into a state of deep concentration. This isn't wasted time. It's an investment in the quality of the session to come. Your launch sequence might include a few moments of deep, diaphragmatic breathing to calm the nervous system. Rereading your signed vow to reignite your commitment. Briefly reviewing the specific subtask related to your vow that you will tackle in this session. Listening to a specific piece of music that signals focus time to your brain. The consistency of this launch sequence will train your mind to understand, okay, these actions mean it's time to go deep. Ignoring the power of ritual means you're constantly battling to initiate focus. You'll be reliant on fleeting moods and dwindling willpower. Your productivity will be erratic, marked by frustrating bouts of procrastination and shallow work. You'll start sessions already fatigued by the mental effort of trying to start. The benefit of engineering these rituals is transformative. The time lock protocol ensures dedicated effort. The sanctum setup minimizes external friction. The launch sequence creates an almost Pavlovian trigger for deep work. Together, they create a powerful, self-reinforcing system that conserves your willpower for the actual task at hand, not for the struggle to begin. This systematic approach turns the daunting mountain of your vow into a series of manageable, ritualized ascents. This is how you build the machinery of dangerous productivity. Day 4. The Sentinel mastering the gates of your mind. You've purged distractions, forged your vow, and engineered your rituals. The external battlefield is largely pacified. Now the war moves inward. Day 4 is about becoming the sentinel, the unwavering guardian of your mental gates. The most insidious enemies of savage focus are not the notifications or the noisy colleagues. They are the traitors within. Procrastination, self-doubt, fear of failure, the siren song of boredom, the insidious whisper of perfectionism that prevents you from even starting. Mastering these internal saboteurs is crucial for wielding dangerous power. Why the sentinel? Because your mind is a fortress, and like any fortress, it requires vigilant guards at its gates to repel invaders. These internal invaders are subtle, often disguised as rational thoughts or genuine feelings, but their effect is always the same: to pull you away from your vow, to dilute your focus, to erode your resolve. A sentinel doesn't negotiate with invaders. It identifies them, challenges them, and expels them. The savage approach to mental defense is not about coddling these negative thoughts or engaging in endless internal debate. It's about swift, decisive action. It's about recognizing that these thoughts are not you. They are merely mental weather patterns, and you are the sky, vast and unmoved. One of the primary invaders is procrastination, often cloaked as "I'll do it later when I feel more inspired," or "I need to do more research first." The sentinel's response is the 5-minute fury. When you feel the urge to procrastinate on a task related to your vow, commit to working on it with intense focus for just 5 minutes. Often, the inertia of starting is the biggest hurdle. After 5 minutes, you'll frequently find you've broken through the resistance and can continue. If not, you've still made 5 minutes of progress, which is infinitely more than zero. Then there's self-doubt whispering you're not good enough for this. This is too hard, you're going to fail. The sentinel employs the evidence disputation. When such a thought arises, you don't suppress it, you interrogate it. What concrete evidence supports this claim? What evidence contradicts it? What would I tell a friend who expressed this doubt? Often, these doubts wither under direct scrutiny, exposed as baseless fears rather than objective truths. Then, you immediately redirect your focus to the task, using the vow as your anchor. Fear of failure and its close cousin, perfectionism, are crippling. They keep you tweaking, polishing, and ultimately producing nothing of substance because it's not perfect yet. The sentinel enacts the imperfect action mandate. Understand that progress, not perfection, is the goal, especially in these 7 days. Shipping, completing, moving forward, these are the priorities. Remind yourself that done is often better than perfect because perfect is an illusion that breeds inaction. View any stumbles or mistakes not as confirmation of inadequacy, but as valuable battle data, information to learn from and adjust your approach. Boredom, or the allure of a more stimulating distraction, is another constant threat. The sentinel practices discomfort threshold expansion. When you feel your focus waning, when the task feels tedious, push yourself to continue for just 5 or 10 minutes longer than you want to. Each time you do this, you expand your capacity for sustained concentration, much like a muscle grows stronger with resistance. You teach your mind that you are in command, not your fleeting whims. Ignoring the role of the sentinel means your meticulously crafted external environment and rituals will be undermined from within. You'll be like a city with strong walls but open gates, easily overrun by internal dissent and sabotage. Your focus will be fragile, easily shattered by the first wave of doubt or discomfort. The benefit of mastering these internal defenses is an unshakable inner resilience. Your focus becomes robust, capable of weathering internal storms. You develop a calm, detached awareness of your thought patterns, able to choose which ones to engage with and which to dismiss. This mental fortitude is the hallmark of someone who possesses dangerous power, the power to direct their mind with unwavering precision, regardless of internal or external pressures. Today, you don't just work on your vow, you fortify the very mind that will achieve it. Day 5. The current channeling raw energy. Savage focus is not a purely mental game. It is an intensely energy-demanding state. Trying to maintain peak concentration when your physical or mental batteries are depleted is like trying to drive a high-performance race car on an empty tank of fuel. Day 5 is about mastering the current, understanding, cultivating, and precisely channeling your raw physical and mental energy towards the execution of your vow. This isn't just about having energy. It's about directing it like a focused beam, a powerful electrical current driving the machinery of your productivity. Why the current? Because energy, like electricity, is a force that needs to be generated, managed, and directed to be effective. Untamed energy can be chaotic and diffuse. Channeled energy is power. Your body and mind are the generators and conduits of this power. The foundation of raw energy is physical vitality. You cannot expect to have a sharp, focused mind if you're abusing your body. This calls for the primal fuel protocol. For these 7 days, and ideally beyond, commit to clean nutrition. Eliminate processed junk, sugary drinks, and excessive stimulants that lead to crashes. Focus on whole foods, lean proteins, complex carbohydrates, healthy fats, and plenty of vegetables. Think of food as literal fuel for your brain. Would you put contaminated fuel in a precision engine? Optimal hydration. Dehydration is a notorious focus killer, leading to fatigue and brain fog. Keep water constantly accessible and sip throughout the day. Non-negotiable sleep. This is paramount. During sleep, your brain consolidates learning, clears metabolic byproducts, and restores cognitive function. Aim for 7–9 hours of quality, uninterrupted sleep. Sacrificing sleep for more work hours is a fool's bargain. The quality of those extra hours will be drastically diminished. Treat your sleep sanctuary with respect. Dark, cool, quiet. Beyond physical energy, there's mental and emotional fuel. This comes from a sense of purpose. Your vow provides this, and the experience of progress. For this, implement the momentum engine. Break down the work required for your vow into smaller, manageable subtasks or milestones. Each time you complete one, no matter how small, acknowledge it. This isn't just about ticking a box. It's about generating a small burst of dopamine, a positive feedback loop that says, "This is working. I am capable. Keep going." This creates an upward spiral of motivation and energy. Then there's the art of strategic renewal within your focus blocks or between them. These are not lazy breaks spent scrolling social media, which further fragments attention. These are power pulses, short, deliberate activities to recharge, not dissipate your energy. Movement bursts. A few minutes of stretching, jumping jacks, a brisk walk. This gets oxygen flowing to the brain. Nature dose. If possible, step outside and get some sunlight, look at greenery. Nature has a restorative effect on attention. Mindful disengagement. A few minutes of deliberate, non-judgmental observation of your breath or senses, not to achieve enlightenment, but simply to give the focused parts of your brain a brief rest. Hydration nutrition top-up. A glass of water, a healthy, light snack. Ignoring the current means you'll inevitably hit a wall. You might have the best intentions, the most pristine environment, but if your energy reserves are low or mismanaged, your focus will be weak, your thinking sluggish, and your output mediocre. You risk burnout, that state of chronic depletion where even simple tasks feel monumental. The benefit of mastering the current is sustained, high-voltage power for deep work. You'll find you can enter focus states more easily, maintain them for longer, and produce higher quality work. Your mind will feel sharper, your resilience greater. This isn't just about avoiding fatigue. It's about actively cultivating and directing a potent force that amplifies every other aspect of this 7-day method. When your energy is aligned with your vow, you become a relentless, productive force. This is how you energize your dangerous power. Day 6. The edge of sustaining peak intensity. You've purged, vowed, ritualized, guarded your mind, and channeled your energy. Now, on day 6, it's time to push into new territory. This is about the edge, learning to sustain peak mental intensity for longer periods, and developing the capacity to recover effectively so you can re-engage with that same formidable power. True savage focus isn't just about achieving short, intense bursts. It's about cultivating the endurance to operate at your cognitive limits, producing extraordinary output consistently. This is where you truly begin to feel the dangerous effectiveness of your cultivated focus. Why the edge? Because your current limits of concentration are not fixed, they are elastic. By intelligently pushing against them, you expand them. The edge is that zone just beyond your current comfort level where growth happens. Operating at this edge consistently is what separates the dilettante from the master, the amateur from the professional who can deliver under pressure, day in and day out. Sustaining peak intensity often involves tapping into what athletes call a flow state, that deeply engrossing experience where you're fully immersed in an activity. Time seems to distort, and performance feels almost effortless yet supremely powerful. While flow can't always be summoned on command, the practices from the previous days significantly increase its likelihood. Now, we add layers to sustain it. First, undertake the deep dive duration challenge. If your current comfortable, uninterrupted focus blocks are, say, 60 minutes, consciously aim to extend one or two of them by 15–20%. This isn't about brute forcing it until you're exhausted, but about gently stretching your capacity. When you feel the initial urge to break focus, assuming it's not a genuine need for a break, acknowledge it and consciously push through for that extra predetermined period. This builds mental stamina. Next, implement the intensity modulation technique. Sustaining focus isn't always about maintaining the exact same type of mental effort. For complex vows, you might need to shift between analytical thinking, creative brainstorming, meticulous execution, or problem solving. Learning to modulate the intensity and type of focus within a larger block can prevent mental fatigue. For example, after an hour of intense data analysis, you might switch to 30 minutes of outlining or mind mapping related to the same vow, which uses a different cognitive pathway but maintains overall engagement. Crucially, pushing to the edge requires sophisticated recovery. This isn't just about collapsing on the couch. It's about active recovery rituals performed after your demanding focus sessions. These are designed to help your brain downshift, process information, and replenish for the next bout of intense work. Examples include reflective journaling. Briefly write about what you accomplished, what challenges you faced, and any insights gained during the focus session. This helps consolidate learning and provides a sense of closure. Mind-wandering, constructive. Engage in a low-stimulus activity that allows your mind to wander freely, like a gentle walk without headphones, light gardening, or staring out a window. This can often lead to unexpected insights as your subconscious continues to process. Total disconnection. Deliberately engage in an activity completely unrelated to your vow and intellectually undemanding. This gives the focus muscles of your brain a complete rest. Preemptive planning for next session. Before fully disengaging, briefly identify the very next small step you'll take when you return to your vow. This makes re-entry much easier. Ignoring the edge means your focus will remain superficial. You'll complete tasks, but you won't achieve the depth of insight or the volume of high-quality output that comes from sustained, intense immersion. You'll hit plateaus quickly and struggle to break through to higher levels of performance. Your dangerous power will remain capped. The benefit of learning to operate at the edge is transformative. You unlock new levels of productivity and creativity. You develop the mental endurance of an elite performer. The quality and quantity of your work will skyrocket. This isn't about burning yourself out. It's about intelligently expanding your capacity to do deep, meaningful work for longer stretches, turning your savage focus into a truly formidable tool for achieving your most ambitious goals. This is how you sharpen your power to a razor's keenness. Day 7. The unveiling wielding your dangerous power. This is day 7. You've journeyed through the purge, the vow, the ritual, the sentinel, the current, and the edge. This week has been a crucible, designed to burn away the dross of your old habits and forge something new, something potent. Today is the unveiling, a day for reflection, integration, and the conscious recognition of the dangerous power you've begun to cultivate. This power isn't a fleeting state. It's a new operational capacity, and today you strategize how to wield it effectively, not just for a week, but as a permanent upgrade to your being. Why the unveiling? Because a transformation has occurred. You are not the same person who started this journey 7 days ago. The scattered, easily distracted version of you has been challenged, perhaps even largely overcome. What's being unveiled is a more focused, disciplined, and remarkably effective version of yourself. This dangerous power is the newfound ability to single-mindedly direct your attention and energy to achieve what truly matters. It's dangerous primarily to mediocrity, to your previous limitations, to procrastination, and to the obstacles that once seemed insurmountable. It's the power of profound personal agency. First, conduct the power audit. Take dedicated time today to reflect deeply on the past 6 days. Don't rush this. Consider biggest breakthroughs. What specific moments or realizations felt most significant? Where did you surprise yourself with your capacity for focus or discipline? Most effective tactics. Which of the daily principles purge, vow, ritual, sentinel, current, edge resonated most strongly? Which specific actions, e.g., notification nullification, time lock protocol, 5-minute fury, yielded the best results for you? Greatest challenges. Where did you struggle most? What internal or external obstacles were hardest to overcome? Understanding these points of friction is key to reinforcing your defenses. The vow's progress. Assess your progress on the vow you made on day 2. Even if it's not fully complete, acknowledge the significant headway you've made through concentrated effort. This audit isn't about judgment. It's about extracting wisdom from experience. Next, you create the continuation contract. This 7-day method was an intensive boot camp. Now, how do you translate these principles into a sustainable lifestyle of savage focus? You won't necessarily maintain the same extreme intensity every single day indefinitely. That could lead to burnout if not balanced. But you must identify the core elements that you will carry forward. Core rituals. Which daily or pre-work rituals will become non-negotiable parts of your routine? Focus blocks. How will you integrate dedicated, protected focus time into your regular schedule? Sentinel strategies. Which mental defense tactics will you keep in your arsenal for daily use? Energy management. What aspects of the primal fuel protocol and power pulses will become permanent habits? Write this down as a new commitment to yourself, a plan for ongoing mastery. Then consider the impact projection. With this heightened capacity for focus, what now becomes possible for you? Think beyond the immediate vow. What larger long-term ambitions can you now realistically tackle? Allow yourself to visualize the cascading positive effects of applying this savage focus to your career, your personal projects, your learning, your life's grandest goals. This isn't idle daydreaming. It's strategic future pacing, fueling your motivation to continue cultivating this power. What if you stop here? What if you treat this as just an interesting one-week experiment? The consequences are predictable, a slow, insidious slide back into old patterns. The noise will creep back in. The intensity will fade. The dangerous power will dim. The world is relentless in its efforts to reclaim your attention for its own purposes. Without a conscious plan for continuation, entropy will win. The benefit of the unveiling is profound and lasting. You emerge from this week not just with a completed vow or significant progress on it, but with a proven system for achieving deep work and a newfound, evidence-based respect for your own capabilities. You've experienced firsthand what's possible when you unleash your focus. This isn't just about productivity. It's about self-mastery. It's about becoming an individual who can consciously direct their life's trajectory through the disciplined application of their most precious resource, their focused attention. This is the enduring legacy of your 7-day journey. You now possess the blueprint. This 7-day method, unleash savage focus, the 7-day dangerous power method for productivity, is not a magic pill. It's a demanding path. It requires commitment, discipline, and a willingness to be brutally honest with yourself. You've now walked that path, from the initial, stark purge to the empowering unveiling of your inherent capabilities. You've tasted what it feels like to operate with an intensity that borders on primal, a focus that carves through distraction like a blade. This dangerous power, the capacity for sustained, deep work and ruthless execution of your chosen objectives, is now within your grasp. But knowledge without action is useless. Insight without implementation is a hollow trophy. The real test begins now. Will you allow the lessons of these 7 days to become ingrained, to become the new bedrock of your operational mode? Or will you let them fade, a distant memory of what might have been? The choice, as always, is yours. But understand this, the world does not pause for the hesitant. It does not yield to the easily distracted. It bends to the will of the focused, the disciplined, the individuals who have cultivated the savage intensity to pursue their aims relentlessly. You have the tools. You've experienced the process. The power is not in this script. It's in your application of its principles. Do not let this be a mere intellectual exercise. Take the continuation contract you drafted today and make it your creed. Select your next vow, perhaps a smaller one to begin, and apply these principles anew. Build the habits, reinforce the rituals, stand as the sentinel over your mind. Unleash your savage focus consistently, deliberately. The power you've touched this week is only the beginning. You have the capacity for so much more. Go forth and wield it. Become the architect of your achievements, not a victim of your distractions. The dangerously powerful, incredibly productive life you desire is not just a possibility. It's a direct consequence of the focused path you choose to walk from this day forward.